What's good, guys? Back again with another video. Basically, today we're gonna be working in the Avalon that I did a video on my channel. Um, Doing valve cover gaskets. We're doing power steering line. Doing temp sensor, and I think just those three. Uh, Two power steering lines, valve cover gaskets, temp sensor. So let me show you guys how the car looking. So basically that's how the car looking. See, look, all that grease and stuff. So basically it's a V6. So what I gotta do, take off all that stuff back there. So first what I'm gonna do, pressure wash it, and then I'm gonna drive it in the garage as close as I can. Because if you look outside, it's kind of rainy and stuff. So I don't wanna be working in the, wet weather and stuff. So, oh yeah, a couple stuff she was missing. She didn't get this. She was supposed to get new connectors for those, so not sure if she forgot, but I'm gonna go ahead and start getting all this spray down with the greaser and then get it pressure washed, and I'm gonna show you guys the after, before and after. Alright guys, now that we got the engine clean and I let it sit and dry and I got everything blow off, now we're going to start disassembling this front valve cover, get that done, and then we're gonna go to the back area. So let's go ahead. Alright, we got the battery disconnected, so let's go. Alright guys, we got the valve cover off. This is how it's looking. Engine looks pretty clean for a 15-year owned car. So these two gotta come out. And then this is the valve cover. You can tell it's really bad. You can actually move the tube seal. See? Not supposed to do that. See, look at that. Man, that shit is solid. So can actually pull all of them out by hand. But yeah, I just gotta get this cleaned up. Take out this seal. For sure this one may be hard to get out, so let's go. Look at that. Alright, we got the cover out. Look at that, see, even broke. It's like solid. Look at that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that cleaned up. Get the new seals on. I'm not gonna use brake cleaner to clean the surfaces where the little seals go because those have solenoids. I don't want no fluid going inside of there, so I'm gonna just clean the area as best as I can and then get it back on, and then should be good. Guys, these are the seals, the whole kit for this vehicle. So I recommend to all my customers to use Felpo. Felpo is the best brand. If you use those eBay cheap gaskets, they will start to leak. I learned from experience, so use Felpro. This is a Toyota Avalon 3.5. This is your part number right here, VS50682R, and it comes with 6 tube seals, new valve cover seals for the middle, 2 copper washers for both heads. I don't know if the back ones have it's basically for this right here. I'm not sure if the back one got one, but we got 2. I think it does because this is similar to the IS 250, the V6. So yeah, it probably does. So we got 2 of those, and then these little seals, they go right there. So 4 of those, 2 in each head. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of that replaced now, and then we should be good to go. All right, guys, we got all the new gaskets on, the new tube seals. This one here, I forgot to tell you guys, but this one here, it's a little O-ring like this. One of those goes there, that one. So that one goes there, then the other 2 blue ones go there. So let me show you. See, look, I put the new one here, then these 2 blue ones. Got all the surface clean, and then these 2 spots here, you gotta put silicone where the timing cover joins the head. So you put there and also there. So I'm gonna go ahead now, install the cover, and then get all the bolts installed, and then we should be good to go. All right, let's go ahead and install the cover. All right, we got the cover on. Let's go ahead and tighten up the bolts. So let's go. All right, now we're gonna start putting everything back on, and I may leave the harness loose so I can do the back cover also. That way, you know, I can fold it over to get the cover out. So I'm gonna put the coil packs back on. Any little sensors that's not in the way, I'm gonna put back on, and then put the new copper washers here, and then get this sensor on here on. So let's go ahead. Now we can take this, wipe it off, and then put on new copper washers, and then we should be good to go. Alright guys, these are the new copper washers. They fit perfect. So the screen is clean, so you gotta make sure that's clean before you put it back in. Then you gotta try to fit this in the back of this here, and then screw this in. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead, get the torch specs for this, and then I'll come back. Alright guys, this, I try to get it to 48, but to me, it feel like it keep going, so I stop. So before I damage the threads, I just stop. It's tight enough to my liking, so 48 pounds is, to me, it's kind of a lot, but it should be good. Now we just gotta take off the air box and all of that stuff in the back, and then gotta change the temperature sensor, get that installed, and then get with the back valve cover, then change these two power stand lines, and then we should be good. Um, Still waiting on the mount for the top and the 3 plugs for the front. So I don't know if she ordered it, but she said some parts supposed to come in today. So let's see if they come in today. Alright guys, now we can start taking off the air box and the intake and stuff. So let's go. Alright guys, we got off the intake. So now I gotta take out all that stuff in the back. So hopefully I can fit in the back with all that, what do you call it? Wires and stuff. Everything gotta come out. So let's go ahead and start taking out stuff and then get the new valve seal on, and then we should be good to go. So let's go. Alright guys, now we're gonna start working on the back area now. So let's go. Alright guys, see, this is the coil pack that was, leaking oil before, and look, it's wet again. So when we fix all of this, this should fix the issue with this one coil pack leaking oil. Alright guys, the back of this valve cover have 2 bolts in the left corner that's hard to get, so I had to do that off camera. I didn't want to waste storage on my phone, recording that, So I got it off, so now the cover should come off, and we can be able to put on a new gasket and then put everything back on. So let's go. These are the 2 seals. Alright guys, let's see if we can get the car on, kind of get the harness up. So let's go ahead. Alright guys, we got all the bolts tightened up in the back. You can see all the tube seals are pushed in, nothing squeezed up. That the two bolts in this corner was hard to get to. So I'm going to install the sensors and other stuff. I'm not gonna record it because it's basically the same thing as this side. So I'm gonna install the sensors and probably might just record it, get the harness run down, get the intake back on, all that stuff, and then from there we're gonna change the temperature sensor. Then I dropped the bolt in the back, so I gotta find that, and then change the power steering lines, and then we should be good to go. Alright, found the bolt underneath, so we can go ahead and put on the coil packs, then put on the harness. And I already got the copper rings on the VVT line for the head, the valve cover, so that's on already, so let's go. Alright guys, now that we got on everything in the back and the front, I also put on the new plugs on the coil packs. All you do is break off the old ones and then they just push in and you push the little white plastic piece. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. Alright guys, now I'm gonna go ahead and change the temperature sensor. It's right there. See that? Right there. So let me go ahead and change that quick. Alright guys, now we're gonna take out the sensor. Socket is a 19. This is a new one here, so. Alright, it's the old one. So out with the old, in with the new. So Alright, now we're going to put back in the air filter box, all the pieces. So let's go ahead and put it on. Alright, I got everything on and tidying up. Now I gotta change the power steering lines and stuff. See, this is the connector for your coil pack. This is basically what I did. It comes pulled out already. So these are broken to the point where you can just break it off the wires and then you just put it back the same way like this. Push them in, you hear them click, and then you just push this in, and that's it. So all new connectors there. The two power steering lines is these one right here. This one I already took off 2 clamps. So the small one runs down under here and connects down there, and then the bigger one runs in the back to the power steering pump. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those changed, and then start up the car, put some fluid, make sure I got no leaks, and then should be good to go. Then little stuff I gotta check. Gotta see if the crank sensor is good. If it's faulty, get that changed, because she said the car was shut off while driving, so not sure the temperature sensor will cause that, but because it will go in and out. So that's hoping it's just the sensor. So I got a new sensor, and yeah, gotta change this mount too. So let's go. All right, now we'll go ahead and take off the mount so we can get access to the lines, more access. So let's go. Yeah, this is how the mount looking. See, that's not good. So go ahead and I'm gonna put it on after I get the hoses changed, and then I think that would be it. And then start up the car and make sure everything is good, no leaks and stuff. So let's go. All right, guys, we have gotten everything on except the mount. So to change your lines, you gotta disconnect the 2 here, pull it out from the bottom, and you go under here, and you, let me turn on the flash, and you gotta disconnect the line right there from the pump and pull it down from the bottom. And then the top line, the smaller one, is right under here. You gotta disconnect it from there, and then there's a 10mm bolt right there, one there, and I recommend removing this hose from the old one. That way you can wiggle it out from the AC line through the right side, and then you can just pull it out. So bolt lines installed. So now just gotta degrease everything again, pressure wash it, and then should be good to go. All right, guys, now I'm gonna start up the car. Should start in one. As let's just say the Toyota Avalon is done. Did everything in one day. Top torque mount, 2 power steering lines, return and pressure, bolt, valve cover gaskets, temperature sensor, and the 3 plugs in the front for the coil packs. So hopefully everything is good. I know everything is good. Everything is tightened down how it's supposed to be, and I even pressure wash underneath the car a little because it's really oily. It needs engine mounts, and it needs control arms and axle. So I'm gonna let the customer know because the axle boot is burst, the inner and outer is burst. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.